Imagine you're in a car dealership, and finally it's time to buy your dream car. You have a budget in mind and are hoping to get a good deal, but the salesperson is not budging on the price. You start to feel frustrated and anxious, wondering if you'll be able to afford the car you really want. What do? Hello and welcome to my book club. Today, we will read the book Never Split the Difference by Voss. Never Split the Difference is a must-read for anyone who wants to improve their negotiation skills and achieve their goals. The strategies and tactics outlined in the book can be applied by anyone who wants to improve their negotiation skills. It provides practical advice on how to manage emotions, build rapport, and overcome common negotiating pitfalls. Whether you're negotiating a raise at work, buying a car, or resolving a conflict with a friend or family member, the principles of effective negotiation outlined in the book can help you achieve successful outcomes quickly with proven techniques. So first, we will discuss the key concepts from the book and then look at some practical examples, how we can apply them in our daily lives. I think that is the most important part. Even if we can apply some of these today, we will be a better negotiator tomorrow. You can save this video and always come back to it to refresh your negotiating skills. Like and subscribe for more content like these. Also let us know in the comments, what do you think about the book? Have you read it? Now let's dive into the book. 1. The importance of empathy in negotiation. By understanding and acknowledging the other person's perspective, you can build trust and create a more productive negotiation. In negotiation, it's important to recognize that the other person has their own needs, constraints, and motivations. By taking the time to understand these factors, you can identify common ground and find solutions that meet both your needs and theirs. For example, if you're negotiating a salary with a potential employer, you could try to understand their budget constraints, company policies, and other factors that may be influencing their decision-making. By demonstrating that you understand their perspective and are willing to work with them to find a solution, you can build trust and create a more productive negotiation. 2. Active listening. Active listening is an important skill in negotiation, and it involves not only hearing what the other person is saying, but also paying attention to their tone and body language. By actively listening, you can gain a deeper understanding of the other person's needs, motivations, and concerns, and use this understanding to guide your negotiation strategy. In negotiation, it's common for people to mask their true feelings or intentions, and this can make it challenging to understand what they really want. However, by paying close attention to their words, tone, and body language, you can often gain insight into their underlying motivations and concerns. For example, if you're negotiating with a client who seems hesitant, you could try to identify the underlying reasons for their hesitation. Perhaps they're concerned about the cost, or they have questions about the quality of the product. By actively listening and asking probing questions, you can identify these underlying concerns and address them directly. 3. Calibrated questions. Use calibrated questions to gather information. Calibrated questions are open-ended questions that are designed to gather information and guide the negotiation process. These questions are non-threatening and non-judgmental, and they can help you understand the other person's perspective and motivations. For example, you could ask a question like, "What's important to you in this negotiation?" to gather information and guide the negotiation process. Calibrated questions typically start with words like what, how, or why, and they are designed to encourage the other person to share information and insights. For example, you could ask a question like, "What are your biggest concerns about this proposal?" Or, "How do you see this negotiation progressing?" to gather information and guide the negotiation process. Another benefit of using calibrated questions is that they can help you avoid assumptions and misunderstandings. By asking questions to confirm your assumptions and clarify the other person's perspective, you can avoid miscommunication and ensure that you're on the same page. 4. Anchoring. Anchoring is a very powerful tool in negotiation, and it involves setting a starting point that influences the other person's perception of what is reasonable or fair. By setting an anchor, you can establish the terms of the negotiation and create a reference point that guides the negotiation process. Anchoring works by influencing the other person's perception of what is a fair or reasonable price or offer. A creative way to use anchoring is by using a third-party reference point. For example, if you're negotiating the price of a used car, you could reference the Kelley Blue Book value of the car as a starting point. By anchoring the negotiation around an objective reference point, you can create a more collaborative and productive negotiation. Another example would be, if you're negotiating a salary with a potential employer, you could start by suggesting a salary that is much above what you actually expect to receive. This sets an anchor in the other person's mind that they will use as a reference point for the rest of the negotiation. Even if they counter with a lower salary, the anchor will still influence their perception of what is reasonable. Anchoring can also be used to establish the terms of the negotiation beyond just the price or salary. For example, if you're negotiating a contract with a vendor, you could start by setting an anchor for the terms of the contract, such as the length of the contract or the level of service provided. This creates a reference point that guides the negotiation process and helps ensure that both parties are on the same page. Overall, the importance of anchoring in negotiation cannot be overstated. By setting an initial anchor or reference point, you can influence the other person's perception of what is reasonable or fair and guide the negotiation process towards a successful outcome. Whether you're negotiating a business deal, buying a car, or resolving a conflict with a friend or family member, anchoring is a valuable tool that can help you achieve successful outcomes. 5. Labeling. Labeling in negotiation involves identifying and acknowledging the other person's emotions or concerns, and labeling them in a non-judgmental way. In negotiation, it's common for people to mask their true feelings or intentions, and this can make it challenging to understand what they really want. However, by using labeling, you can identify and acknowledge the other person's emotions or concerns and create a more open and honest negotiation. For example, if you're negotiating with a coworker who seems frustrated, you could label their frustration by saying something like, "It seems like you're feeling frustrated. Can you tell me more about what's going on?" This labeling helps the other person feel heard and understood, and can help create a more productive negotiation. Labeling also helps you gain insight into the other person's motivations and priorities. By identifying their emotions or concerns, you can understand what's driving their behavior and what they really want. For example, if a client seems hesitant about a new product, you could label their concern by saying something like, "It seems like you're concerned about the product's quality. Is that right?" This labeling can help you identify the client's underlying concerns and address them directly. 6. Silence. Silence can be a powerful tool in negotiation, as it creates a sense of discomfort that can prompt the other person to speak. When used strategically, silence can encourage the other person to share information, make a concession, or provide a counteroffer. One of the benefits of using silence is that it can prompt the other person to reveal information or make a concession that they might not have otherwise. By creating a sense of discomfort and uncertainty, silence can prompt the other person to speak and share their thoughts and feelings about the negotiation. This can provide valuable information that can be used to guide the negotiation process. Another benefit of using silence is that it can help you maintain control of the negotiation. By using silence strategically, you can create a sense of urgency and pressure that can prompt the other person to make a concession or provide a counteroffer. This can help you maintain control of the negotiation and guide it towards a successful outcome. When using silence, it's important to remain calm and confident. It's also important to use silence strategically and not overdo it, as this can make the other person uncomfortable and damage the relationship. One effective way to use silence is to pause after making an offer or asking a question, and then wait for the other person to respond. This can create a sense of anticipation and urgency that can prompt the other person to speak. 7. Walk away. You should know when to walk away from a negotiation. Sometimes the best decision is to walk away from a negotiation that isn't going well, rather than compromising on your needs or values. For example, if you're negotiating a business deal that requires you to compromise on a key value or principle, it may be better to walk away than to compromise your integrity. So how can you apply these key strategies to your daily lives? Here are 5 examples. Let us know in the comments, how do you apply these in your lives or planning to apply? If you're negotiating a raise at work, try to understand your boss's constraints and concerns, and offer solutions that address both your needs and theirs. If you're trying to resolve a conflict with a friend or family member, actively listen to their concerns and try to identify the underlying reasons for their perspective. If you're negotiating a price for a new car, start by offering a low but reasonable price, which will anchor the negotiation around that price point. If you're trying to build rapport with a new coworker, use labeling to identify and acknowledge their emotions or concerns in a non-judgmental way. If you're negotiating a business deal that requires you to compromise on a key value or principle, be willing to walk away if the compromise is too great. As you can see, Never Split the Difference is a valuable resource for anyone who wants to improve their negotiation skills and achieve successful outcomes in a variety of settings. By using the practical strategies outlined in the book, such as empathy, active listening, anchoring, labeling, calibrated questions, and silence, you can become a more effective negotiator and achieve your goals. So, what are you waiting for? Start implementing these strategies today and see the results for yourself. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks again for watching.